Welcome. My name is Melissa, and I'm going to be taking you through a Yin Yoga practice. We're going to focus a little bit more on the lower half into the legs, the hips, the hamstrings. Now we'll get started in Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together, the knees out to the side. Just bring your hands either onto your shins, your feet, wherever is comfortable. Just settle into this spot. If it feels okay for you, and start to hinge forward. It's coming to an edge. We don't want to push our body past a point where it's causing pain. So just go into a place where you feel a gentle stretch and hang out there. In Yin Yoga, we hold these postures a little bit longer. So 3 to 5 minutes for each pose. That's why I wear my hoodie and my socks is to stay warm. And we're working more so into connective tissue rather than our muscles. So, in that sense, when we hold it longer, we'll go deeper and deeper into those tissues. If you notice that that intensity of the stretch is starting to ease off a bit, you can start to fold forward, maybe even bringing your hands further up, allowing yourself to soften down. If it feels okay and comfortable, you can close the eyes. As we begin the practice, let's do a full body scan, relaxing throughout the muscles of the face, forehead, the eyes, the cheeks and jaw. And see if you can relax into the shoulders and upper back. Maybe your body can sink down into the pose a little bit deeper. Maybe those knees melting down towards your mat. Just a little bit longer here. Connecting with the breath as you inhale, create a little bit more length throughout your spine. And the exhale allows you to relax into it deeper. From here, if your hands are on the floor, just use the strength of your arms to press yourself back up to a neutral spine. We're going to keep the right leg in front and sweep that left leg back behind you. Make any adjustments you need to until we can make this shape where we have a 90-degree in that front knee, as well as a 90-degree in your back knee. Doing our best to ground down through the hips. Sometimes they don't get there, and that's okay. This can be quite intense on the hips at first. It might feel good to sit up on a block or even a bolster to add a little bit more height and space for our hips. You get to take that torso squared over that front thigh. Then walk your hands forward. Once again, finding an edge here where you feel that stretch. You're not pushing it past a point of pain. Relax the shoulders down, away from the ears. Just settling into this pose. Might feel good to take a block underneath your hands or arms. Always a good option. And as I mentioned before, after a little bit of time, usually the tissue will relax and we can go further into the stretch. But that isn't always the case. Sometimes it can become even more intense over time. And those are the moments when we really have to tap into the breath, observe what is happening. Do we have to react? Do we have to move? Or can we sit and be still and observe what is coming up? From here, walk your hands back, and we're going to move over to the other side. So if you've got a block, take it with you. Taking that left knee forward, right knee behind. So once again, making any final adjustments to look for that 90 degrees in both knees. Settle into those hips as much as possible, or use some height underneath your seat for space. Square your torso over that front leg and begin to hinge forward. Observe that stretch, that sensation that comes up into your left hip, glute, hamstring area. See if you can just become simply aware. Simply aware of whatever that sensation is without giving it a name, a label, a cause, a story. Just simply notice. When we can be the observer and notice the rise and fall of sensation, we really tap into the understanding of how everything is impermanent. There is no need to react. We can simply observe. Sensation is sensation, and it is always impermanent. Begin to walk your hands back, and we'll move our legs back to the front of the mat, adjusting ourselves into our lizard pose. So come onto all fours to start, hands and knees. And we'll take that right foot forward in between the hands. Start to walk the left knee as far back as it'll go. You can keep the back foot tucked under or release onto the top of the foot. Just pay attention to how that feels into that knee. You could always double up your mat or put a blanket underneath for more support and cushion. We're not here to experience pain. So use any props that will be there to support your practice. Hands on the inside of that right foot. This is an incredibly deep hip opener. So take your time with it, use props if needed. We can start with ourselves propped up, hands on the mat. Maybe taking a block underneath the elbows. Great. If you're feeling really flexible today, elbows all the way to the floor. Once again, finding your edge and settling into that space. Gently closing the eyes, connecting with the breath, and maybe the space between the eyebrows or third eye. Come out of the pose. If you're on your elbows, come onto your hands. We're going to gently step the right foot back and take a child's pose. Feel yourself back up and we'll make it over into the other side. Left foot stepping forward in between the hands. Adjust your back knee. Right knee walking back as far as it allows. Sorry, hands on the inside of that left foot. And then start to soften down into that right hip flexor. Once again, maybe coming down to a block with your elbows. Or coming all the way down. Find your edge on this side. If you're on those elbows, gently make yourself back onto your hands. Tuck your back toes under. Just adjust yourself into child's pose. Might feel nice to have the knees together for your child's pose. Hands by your side, bow the forehead to the mat. Gently pressing yourself back up. Come to take a seat with your left leg extended out straight. Bring the sole of the right foot to the inner thigh. And we'll begin to square our torso over that left thigh. Lengthen up through the crown of your head as you begin to hinge forward. Hands alongside your shin. Close the eyes. Allowing those tissues to fully surrender into this pose, into this shape, this forward fold. Feeling the connective tissue from the tip of your left big toe all the way from the sole of the foot, the calf, the hamstring, to your hip, low back, upper back, and neck. Feel that long line, that chain of connective tissue, slowly but surely opening up. Take a full breath in. Exhale. Snap the hands into the floor and slowly walk your hands back to bring yourself into a neutral spine. Good. We're gonna move right over into the other side, extending that right leg long. And shifting that torso to face the right leg. Inhale, create length all the way up through your spine. And as you exhale, begin to walk your hands forward, folding over that right leg. Finding a nice balance between effort and ease here. Taking one final breath here. Inhale. Gently exhale it out. And walk your hands back, coming up to that neutral spine. Our next pose, we'll move into our frog stretch. So I like to turn myself to face the side of the mat at lengthwise. Just protect those knees, and it might feel even good to have more cushions. You could double up the mat for those knees. Bring your hands down in front of you, taking the knees as wide as they can go, and feet out to the side, toes out to the side. When you found that edge, body's not going any further. Come down into your elbows. So certainly we want to be more intense poses as our inner thighs and our groin muscles, they hold a lot of stress, a lot of tension. We don't always notice it's there until we we put ourselves into these positions. But this is an excellent pose if you're experiencing any back pain. A lot of the time that back pain can be caused by a pulling of the inner thigh muscles being shortened. It's all connected within the pelvis. Now, if it's available, try to sit the hips back behind you, even if it's just a couple millimeters. And settle into that. See if you can simply relax into the shape. Check in if you're holding any tension in the shoulders. Take a deep belly breath all the way into the base of the pelvis. Exhale and let go of any tension. Spending 2 or 3 more breaths here. Little by little, just drawing the knees towards one another and then coming up onto your hands. Bring the knees together. Sit the hips back onto your heels and close the eyes. We'll make our way onto our backs, moving into happy baby. Slowly make your way down. And when you get there, take the soles of the feet facing the ceiling. The hands will reach to the insides of the knees to grab the outsides of the feet. Gently draw the feet down and use your elbows, your triceps to push your knees away from one another, creating that widening space in your hips. Grounding down into that low back, tailbone area. And once again, just observing what comes up, what sensations arise. Spend about 3 to 5 more breaths here. I want you to explore that expansive inhale. Every time you breathe in, feel the outside edges of the rib cage pressing up into your thighs, creating a little bit of compression. And every exhale, draw those knees down deeper towards the earth. A few more breaths like that. Gently releasing the whole of the feet and invite your feet back down towards the mat, knees bent. We'll take a few windshield wipers here. You can take the arms out to the side and let the knees gently fall over to the right. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, bring those knees slowly back through to center. Inhale over to the left. Do that one more time, bringing the knees back up through center and over to the right. Last time, back through to center and over to the left. Extend the legs out, move into Shavasana for just a brief rest. Let your arms rest by your sides, palms facing up. Roll the shoulders down your back. Let your legs lay open. Keeping the eyes closed and your face soft here. Together, let's take a deep breath in. Fill the belly, the rib cage, the chest. And as you let that air out, just soften down into the earth below you. Letting go of any tension, any holding, any resistance. Begin to deepen your breath, taking a full inhale through your nose. Gently sigh it out the mouth. Inviting small movements back into your fingers, your toes. Then make your way over onto your side. Just rest there for a moment. Gently pressing yourself up. Come into a comfortable seat. Let's take a moment here to observe what is feeling different now compared to the beginning of the practice. How are the hips feeling? Tuning into any sensations or a sense of openness in your hips. Bringing your hands to your heart center and gently bowing the head down. Just taking a moment to honor yourself for showing up for your practice, honoring the yoga practice. And I want to thank you all for tuning in and allowing me to hold this space. Thank you so much. The light in me honors and sees the light within you.